Don't tell me. A quick and easy video.
You said it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Junkyard Digs. Today you join myself, Angus, and this early 90s Ford pickup out in the woods. Today we're not far from home because we are at home. We are once again in the conquest of cleaning up all the crap in the yard because the county told us to. A good while ago I bought this for like $1,000 because it's got a 351 Windsor, two-wheel drive, half-ton F-150 that the body's still pretty good on. I've always liked these trucks. I grew up around these and I thought this would be an excellent muscle truck build. Now we're not going to get into that today, but there is an engine down in Topeka, Kansas I've been meaning to pick up, and this sucker would be the perfect candidate to get up and running and put it back on the road where it belongs, drive all the way down there, and go pick up a big block. What do you say, Goose?
It's so far.
It's only like 4 hours.
That's so far.
Mr. Goose.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing, well, I was doing fine until you dropped that one on me. Oh, Topeka.
Topeka's only like 4.5 hours from here. Ugh. There's way worse options we could be taking. We could drive the boat.
Could we?
Or
could we?
We could drive the four-wheel drive Civic.
I'd take the boat.
Like I said, I paid $1,000 for this a couple years ago. It's been sitting out here since. I don't know a damn thing about it. All I know is that somehow, miraculously, the mice have not got into it yet. And it's in pretty okay shape. There's a little rust down here in the rockers starting to show. But overall, the cab corners are still in it. The bed sides are still in it. It's not the worst color in the world. And as mentioned, it's got a 351 Windsor, which is a perfect candidate to build a muscle truck out of. Okay, it's all coming back to me now. Some kid was trying to get this going, and they snapped off all the thermostat housing bolts for some reason. Or, well, by accident, I assume. I think they called it quits at that point. Looks like our brake master's empty.
Front is like it's empty. Yeah, it's pretty much empty.
Cool. Oh, and the rear line's pinched off.
Oh, classic, classic.
I hope that's the rear. I don't think it is, actually. I believe that would be the check ball for the rear. Is that the front line's pinched off? Oh, actually, I don't know if that'll even matter, because it's all snapped off there anyway.
Okay, add brake lines to the list.
Yep. Pretty sure this motor still turns over. I did drive it to this spot, like 3 years ago.
Oh.
It ran like crap, but it ran. We brought a battery, so we throw it in and see if the fuel pump's still any good.
I can't think of a better place to start.
Random questionable battery from the shelf.
It says it's got 100%.
Oh, good, the charge indicator works. Sparkies?
No.
I turned the key, we'll listen for a fuel pump. This is a dual tank, so if we don't hear it on one, maybe we'll hear it on the other. Alright, go for it. Is that on?
Yep.
Nothing. Hope the front one works. Go for it. Nothing. You got power?
The gauges shift.
No movement, so we've either got a wiring issue or two bad fuel pumps. I don't know, but they're both very possible. Tell you what though, we can deal with that down the road. Let's see if she cranks. Oh yeah, like a thing of beauty. Well, I'll tell you what, I've done this long enough, I anticipated it, so I brought some brake clean. Let's see if everything works. Alright, open the throttle quick. Try that. Thing of beauty. Give it a little rev. Give her some. Oh, never mind. Alright, well, I think that confirms that the engine's probably good.
Yep.
We're going to ignore all the ticking. That'll go away with oil pressure, I'm sure.
It sounded like exhaust leaks to me.
Yeah. What do you say we hook on this thing with a chain and get it out of here?
Sounds good.
Perfect. I think I have just the vehicle. Straight from last week's video, the tractor. Now back in bucket form. Alright, let's see what we got. We can bend it back. Okay, time to drive. Ooh, steering wheel needs some help. That's Chevy sticky, good lord. Holy shit, this old girl's only got 107,000. That's a arguably low mile truck. What a deal. I don't know if I even knew that. Also, holy shit. The preset's held. What is that about? Why does it do that? Well, that's weird, but the radio does work. Okay, let's get this sucker up to the front yard, hook up to the tow truck, and take it out to the shop. Alright, there we go. Let's get this sucker lifted up and see if that's enough to carry this. Should be. I mean, if we can carry the Newport and only do minor wheelies, that's got a big block and it's all iron. This has an aluminum top end, small block cord. Should hilariously be lighter. Let's strap her up. Off on another quick and easy revival. Yep. And just like that, the truck is in the shop. So starting out here, we got ourselves a bit of a debate we need to finish, or figure out first, I should say. Got a couple options with this truck. There's a few different routes we could go down, and they both pretty much immediately start, so we need to decide mostly right away. So the two things we can do. One, try to fix the fuel injection. This truck did run, like I'd said, but it ran pretty bad. And funny enough, it runs way better when you spray brake clean in the front than it did on its own fuel injection system. So I don't know about that guy. Option two, we rip everything off right here, put a carburetor on it, and then proceed to hook up the, I believe you need the coolant, TPS, PIP from the distributor, so you gotta keep the old distributor, and map sensor. And the transmission would have no idea that it's not fuel injected. And the E4OD should still work, assuming it does to start with. Truck's only got 107,000 on it, so it all should be pretty good. Now, obviously, there's complications with both of those, and the biggest immediate complication we have with both of those is they both require a fuel pump. The carbureted one, usually, we like to run a mechanical pump. You could do that on this truck. We could take that timing cover off and swap to an older style timing cover, I think. Easier option, probably a low pressure fuel pump in the tank or on the rail. But regardless, the tanks would have to come off and get converted to carbureted fuel pickup. Now, if we go with the EFI, the tanks still have to come out because we need new fuel pumps. They don't seem to be working at all. So, looks like step one, regardless, is remove the bed and get to the fuel tanks. Now that this is in here, let's take it back out, turn around, and bring it back in again. Oh. Yep, we didn't think that one through. Okay, that was easy enough. This old tow truck got her all spun around. For once, we're going to do what we always say we're going to do. And we're going to wash this right away, so the whole time we're looking at a nice clean truck and we're more motivated to work on it because it doesn't look like a pile of crap like usual. So for once, we're going to take our own advice and wash this thing before it goes in the shop. Ready, begin.
All right, boys and girls, this is for all the marbles. How do you work this thing?
Nice plastic liner. Something tells me this was still some grandpa's truck not that long ago. CFD all frames on the rear, normal up front, over the step side. All-star liner, low miles. I gotta wonder what we got for registration and stuff. 1993, it was sold to Dennis Kleinsdorst, Roseville, California. Oh, this is a Cali truck. Hey, a title, thank God. Oh, and then Dennis moved to Iowa. This is a two-owner truck. Holy crap. No plates on it, so we don't know when it was last ran. Let's see if we can find some of the clues. Oh my lord. Every business card the guy was ever given. Oh, NASCAR Nationwide Series. Gives you an idea at least. Oh, hang on, here we go. What's this? Registration for 2014. Oh boy, this thing's been off the road for 11 years. Alright, well, let's get her cleaned up so we can get her going. That's a little clear coat sand. Alrighty, look at that. Pretty good. Got a couple dents, a couple dings, a couple spots of rust, but for $1,000, how could you go wrong? Alright, let's get this inside and get back to work. Alright, hey, wait a damn second.
It's crazy what a bath will do to a truck.
It makes so much better.
You leave the door open for 5 minutes and people just start pulling on
trouble.
in.
All
Oh,
trouble.
and tires too, huh? Alright.
Land spiders.
Really?
Tires
sign up. Is that what it says on the sign?
Land spider right there.
The Wild Tracks. All right, fine. We'll put your tires on and then we'll work on that thing. Boy, our Benpack Ranger set of tire machines over here is going to be getting a workout in this video.
Yeah.
Double duty. And for the first time ever on camera, we can show why we got the model that leans back. On these tall tires, they come up real high. And even if Angus lets our bar go all the way up,
Nice.
it won't clear. But if we hit that button, she'll lean all the way back. And then we can easily egress these tires on and off the machine. Thanks again, Benpack, for sending that along. That thing, and the tire balancer, and the trans jack, and the hydraulic press, and all of their lifts. Kick ass. Check them out, benpack.com. All right, back to work on the wrong thing.
Good morning, everybody. We're back in the shop today. We kind of got sidetracked yesterday. Weird. Anyway, today we are going to go ahead and pull our bed off of this F-150. What we need to know is this is a 90s truck, so this is going to be a lot of fun for us. But we have a few key tools that are going to help us a ton with this job. Namely, these key tools include PB Blaster and this guy. This is an induction heater. We're going to use this to heat up all of our bolts. It doesn't use flames. It doesn't get anything else hot except for what you're trying to heat. All you have to do is put one of these induction coils around the bolt or the nut that you're trying to heat up and get off. Essentially, this is just going to isolate heat to that piece of metal.
All right, here we are under the truck looking at our first victim. I'm going to snake our induction heater up in here. There's not a ton of room to hold the camera up in here, so I apologize about the view. We're going to just start heating that sucker, and you can heat them a little bit or you can heat them a lot of bits. There, you can see it's already smoking all the PB Blaster off of it. Alright, moment of truth. Nicely jobbed. 5 more of those nuts and a little bit of wiring harness and we should be good to pull the bed off.
How's it going there, sir?
Oh, it's going alright. I did break the induction heater, so I'm using a torch now.
Yeah, something happened. She shorted out and blew the fuse, and I didn't have any fuses of that type laying around, but I did have a 15 amp and some wires, so, you know, a decent amount of bullshittery later, and we've got whatever that is. I don't know if that's fixed, but it's different, so let's put it together and find out. I should have filmed that. I plugged it in, and it immediately exploded. And in hindsight, the reason is immediately obvious. That was an automotive fuse. They're meant for 32 volts max. This, however, is not. This is a microwave fuse meant for like 110 or 240 volts. So I bet this will work a lot better. Let's try that again. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say this thing's junk. Okay, garbage can. We'll buy a new one. Yay, China. All right. Ready to go?
Yes, this is certainly the first time we're trying this.
All good?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, let's shove this sucker forward.
Alright. Now it's just 6 more bolts to pull the cab and we'll be on our way to a restoration.
Oh, not again.
I had a feeling you'd have a reaction to that.
Alrighty. Ta-da! It's funny that the body is so clean on this truck because there's a good bit of rust scaling back here. I mean, our hangers and shackles have definitely seen better days.
Also, the bed floor underneath looks immaculate, but all the runners are scaly and rusty.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. There's a rust hole in our exhaust. Ooh. And in that hanger. That's junk. Damn it. We're going to have to replace those if we're going to put any weight in the back of this. Looks like just the rears, though. These are probably just fine, right?
Yeah.
Just snaps. Oh. Our muffler. Not exactly hooked to anything.
Not exactly hanging from anything either.
Dual single side exhaust.
Wow. Testing to see if we got power before we pull these pumps out because they are uber expensive.
Yeah, they're like $250 a pop. Ready?
Ready. Yep, got power.
Okay.
Well, that's too bad.
So we got bad pumps. Yeah. Let's pull them out and get some new ones ordered up.
Yep.
All this to probably watch the fuel injection run like a bag of cheese. Time to see what we got.
Yep.
Survey says. Oh, whoa. Actually, it looks really clean so far.
Something's missing here.
Yeah, I think we know why that guy doesn't work. Yeah, that's all corroded and shitty there. So there's definitely been some corrosion going on.
Yeah.
It's always important to pull a fuel pump first and get a look at what you have before you order a new one, because every time I order one first, no matter how confident I am, they're always wrong somehow. In other news, our tank looks pretty okay, except for all the green shit. What the hell? Okay, a little cleaning to do. What's behind door number 2?
Something sticky. There we go. They really just barely got these to fit, huh? Ah, yes.
Also pretty junky.
Arguably worse.
Alright, well, I suppose next week clean out our tanks and order some new pumps.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Alright, a little fast forward in time. How are things? I assume pressure wash those out just fine?
I pressure washed the tanks out, and I came up with a theory on why that tank was green there. Remember, it didn't come out with a float, right?
You think the float dissolved?
It dissolved, and green is the color that it oxidized to.
I see you pressure washed the frame as well. That looks 1,000 times better.
Better is a word.
Less flaky. How about that?
Yeah, I got a lot of dirt out of the channels somehow, so like...
It actually looks pretty damn decent. What Angus is digging into now is the previous mentioned... Wow, those are worse than I thought. The previous mentioned shackles and hangers. That thing was blown through on both sides.
Yeah, it's crazy. I pressure washed away all the metal. I thought it was way better than that, and I knew it was bad, but I didn't think it was that bad.
That is terrible.
If I stomped on that bumper real good, it'd come right out.
So yeah, while we're waiting on our fuel pumps to show up, we're going to change these out and then move on from there.
Yeah, we're going to throw some lowering shackles on it, drop the radiator, and then we're going to get some drop spindles for the front.
Cut 2 feet out of the bed, stub it up, short bed, tub it.
It's going to be sick.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, should we do shocks while we're in here?
It is really easy to get to shocks with the bed off.
And they are real bad looking.
Yeah, they're not the good, as you might notice.
What's been cut? Look at the wiring harness over there.
There are 2 wires for the speed sensor on the differential. Those are the ones that are cut. I don't know why they're cut.
Oh, it looks like they're actually maybe chewed. Looking at the plastic there, that looks, yeah, that was mice. That's a good thing we took the bed off. This thing wanted to shift it.
Oh, wait a minute. There's a bunch of wires over there that are just hanging out.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Where are you supposed to go? They've all been chewed by mice. Okay, well, I guess we have a little more work to do under here before we can put the bed back on. At this point, we'll have the whole ass of the truck restored.
Yeah, and then after that, we can start working on the cab corners, fixing those up, and patching any holes. There are no holes in the floor. And then we'll send it off for paint.
And then we'll see if it runs.
And then we'll powder coat the frame.
And then we'll see if it runs?
Lowering kit before that.
You know, who said it needs to run? Yeah.
Alright, shackle bolt is loose. Let's cut our rivets off and get going. Man, that thing cuts nice. Ta-da! Just like that. Sweet. Let's get our new one hung in place. Supply bolts instead of rivets, so it's so much easier.
Up a little, up a little more, up a little. Oh, right about there, yeah.
That'll do?
Yeah, I think so, from what I can see. How about you?
Hey, that worked.
Hell yeah. There we go. New shackles and hangers are in place. You may notice these ones made of metal, not rust.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to work a lot better.
Yes.
Hard to say.
Nah, well, it's not. But
no, it's, yeah. Beyond that, our tanks are both clean and dry. There's no more debris in those. So Angus is going to tighten up the last bolt there, and then we toss in some fuel pumps to see what it does.
Yeah.
Surely this complete disaster of wires is not related to, anything electrical back there, like the fuel pumps.
Nah. I bet it's for the trailer lights. We don't need those.
You're right. Well, it only costs an arm and a leg, but here we go. A new fuel pump. Get in there. Hopefully we never see you again. Yeah. Okay, now I'll go get the seal I forgot. Oh, hey, look, the seal I forgot. I'm going to get this all tightened down and hooked up to the new wire looms and plumbed up and everything. We'll see if that works. In the meantime, Angus is over here taking off our old shocks because they are poop from a butt.
We'll either back this nut off or break the stud off. I don't know which it's going to be, so place your bets.
The nut. All right, there we go. New fuel pump is in place, all wired up, good to go. Even got a gallon of gas in there. Let's see what the hell happens. I hear a pump. I have a fuel gauge. Cycle that a few times. And there's a giant leak, isn't there?
I just splooged the other
Damn it. Why is it doing that? Is there supposed to be a check ball in them to keep it from going down the other pump? I could see that.
Maybe.
Maybe. Put the other pump on, question mark?
Put the other pump on, period.
Put the other pump on, exclamation point.
Put the other pump on, comma.
Alright, in the name of science, that's sitting there. I'll turn this. Nothing?
Nope.
Oh, okay, so yeah. I guess there's a check valve in it. Let's see if we got anything on the Schrader. Ooh. Ta-da! Fuel.
Yay. And
Cool.
It's green.
Okay, got everything back there sealed up, good to go. We know we got fuel. Go ahead, Mr. Goose. She's probably gonna run some old fuel through the system first, but so be it. Activate engine.
No.
Please hold. Might be enough amperage for a fuel pump, but not a starter. Go ahead. Hey, there we go. Pliers fixes all. Give her hell. Primed the key a couple times. I very distinctly hear a dead cylinder in here. That's interesting. Try her again. Go ahead. Interesting. Go ahead, run the key a couple times. Yeah, that seems fine. Live, you son of a bitch. Let's run the key a few more times. I bet we got some sticky injectors. Can't imagine why.
Oh, you know.
Whatever that was, yeah. Sure.
I challenge you to a duel.
Damn. Got one healthy cylinder in there, and that's it. We'll give her some brake clean, make sure it's not an ignition issue.
Yeah.
You keep priming it.
Okay.
Okay, try it again. One more time. Come on, pull your fuel trim up. Hit it. Woo! Lean. Go ahead. Why? Okay. It's like there's smoke coming out the cold air intake, but it's not hooked to the motor.
Oh, is it coming through the breather?
PCV, yeah. I don't know if our injectors aren't opening because they're all stuck closed. I don't particularly hear that dead cylinder anymore. That or it's getting skipped by the live one right before it.
It's good to have a buddy.
Yeah. Buddy system.
Buddy system.
This is what it's for. God damn it. I knew we shouldn't have spent $500 in fuel pumps just to decide carburetors were, as we knew, vastly superior to bullshit fuel injection, and it would have been running and driving by now had we gone through all these steps to make it do so.
See, I told you from the start we should carb swap it.
I know. Tell you what, one more time for the ladies, give her a few primes. This truck ran on the old shit fuel and pump. I did drive it like 3 years ago. I moved it to where it's at. Ran terrible. It ran. Now it runs even worse with new pumps, so I'm pretty sure it's sticky injectors.
Yeah, maybe it misses its green juice.
Let's get an AG1 sponsored truck. Alright, hit it. What if I tapped on things and stuff? Prime it a few times. Be free. Begin to operate. The pliers will fix you. Try that. Damn. God, I hate fuel injection. Oh, hey, wait a minute. I just found something. One of the wires into our coil has been eaten off? Question mark? Where do you think this is supposed to go?
Random condenser thing is
Also ripped out of the plug, isn't it? I bet all 4 of those are supposed to go in those 4 holes. Let's see if we can fix this and see if that changes anything. Alright, capacitor's hooked back up. Turns out that wire just, goes to that capacitor. Hit it, Goose. Do something cool. Try that. I'm running out of juice. Go ahead. I got nothing. Yeah, f that thing. Let's put a carburetor on it.
Okay.
I guess we get a little heat into those injectors. They get a little happier. If we could just get it to freaking run, we'd probably get enough heat in them to actually ungoo and start working.
Yeah, I mean, we ran it off brake clean a little. If we can keep that up, maybe that would do it.
That's not a terrible idea. Okay, I like Angus's idea. I would just use a little torch, but there's a lot of fuel all over there. We don't need to get them that hot.
No, that's fine.
All right, let's see what we can do. Bring a little RPM into it when she goes. I'll try to match her fuel. Go for it.
Yeah, it's doing like 500 RPM. Up on its own.
He's definitely got some dead injectors.
Smooth out quite a bit. But the check engine light's on now. Look what you did.
Now it's ruined. Hey,
Oh, now it's gone. It's fixed.
Really? Yeah. It started running better.
One injector. Let's see what our idle sounds like.
Oh, that wasn't idling. Oh, dude. Dude. There's a lot of smoke. We won't worry about that. That's probably fine.
That little guy? I wouldn't worry about that little guy.
She's idling. Pretty okay. It's still lean? No. It's not lean anymore. It did not like having more fuel.
No, it did not.
Oh, look at it. It's starting to smoke less. Now, there is no water pump. No. Yeah, it's probably time to shut it off. Yeah. Holy shit, it runs. It does not run well, and it seems like it makes about 85 horsepower.
Oh, that's a stretch.
But it does continue to rotate on its own. The gods were not appeased by our efforts. I don't think they liked the amount of brake clean we used.
I think that's just our smoke cloud. We're fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I did see the rings started to seat better.
Yes.
It stopped smoking, blew out the exhaust, and the road draft tube turned back into a breather for the most part.
Yeah.
It's no longer a steam engine locomotive.
Was pretty punk rock though.
Can't deny you there. Should we verify our firing order quick?
Oh yeah.
Let's do that quick.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah. Well, as it turns out, our firing order is correct.
That's too bad.
I know. I was really hoping to be like, oh, 3 and 5. So, with that out of the way, I guess we'll look for vacuum leaks or something of the sort. I mean, I'm sure it's maybe still fuel injectors.
Wouldn't it be just awful if it was intake manifold gaskets?
We had to do them anyway.
They would have to take it off.
If we did that, we'd absolutely change the carburetors. Because this whole time, we do have a second very compelling reason. And that is the fact that, as mentioned early on, someone twisted that clean off.
Fire it up one more time for the ladies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, I'm convinced. Dude, never mind the ladies. Let's do it for us.
Okay, but if there's any ladies, it's
Call-
for you.
Call Angus. All right, hit it. Flying out of this thing on fire. Boy, it smells like a grass fire back here. Yes! Oh, that's right, there's no brakes. I do have one question, though. We'll do a burnout.
Alright, I'll try. Sorry, Mom.
Holy shit, is that thing a posse? There's a non-zero chance that that's a posi rear end, apparently. This thing is just begging to be a muscle truck. Alright, I think that's good enough for day one. Truck runs, drives a little. Come back tomorrow, do some brakes, try to make it run better.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys then.
Good morning, everybody. We are back at it today. I have spent the morning working on the truck, just splicing some wires back together, things that have been eaten by mice, and doing a little bit of painting on the frame just to, you know, spruce her up a little bit. Oh yeah, there it is. That's different for sure. So, like I said, I went ahead and spliced up some of our wiring that was hanging loose right around here. Also got our rear tank fuel pump hooked up. It seems to work, so we're going to just roll with that. And then I just shot everything with a little bit of rust reformer, you know, give it a nice underbody black color that we like so much here at Junkyard Digs. So that is all to say that we did all of that work just so we can put the bed back on, which is what we are going to do next. So let's get to it. Make engine noises, I guess. Man, this thing's heavy. Everybody else hear that foghorn? What the heck was that? Bed's bolted on. Let's go ahead and turn this thing around so we can get her up in the air and start doing our brakes. And just like that, the truck is up in the air. Let's take a gander at it while we got her up. Underside of this truck is pretty clean, save for the frame rails. For some reason, they scaled like crazy, and honestly, that there's probably the worst the floor gets. So I'll take that any day. Hey, we found our fuel filter. We should probably change him while he's up in the air. And fuel tanks look good underneath, so that's all nice and dandy. Let's go ahead and pull the tires off and see what our brakes look like, see what we need to get ordered up, and then I'm going to start working on brake lines and getting her ready to bleed up, because boy, I sure would love to be able to stop this thing. Let's pull this front off, see what we got. Wow, there's a lot of spider webs in here. Our caliper looks a million years old, of course, but our hose looks to be in really good shape. These would definitely clean up after a few miles, you know. Yeah, but other than that, the front brakes look pretty good. I wouldn't be too worried about running these as is. Okay, let's pull one of the rears off and see what our drums look like. All right, moving on to our rears. Let's pull this wheel off. Everything's fighting me on this one. These stupid lug nuts have the chrome cover on them, and they always expand when they corrode underneath. So a tip that I've come up with is just, if you're using an impact, kind of run it off to the side, keeps it loose in the socket, which I obviously just didn't do. There we go. Will this be an easy drum or a hard drum? Just kidding, easy. Whoa! Look at those shoes. Those are practically brand new. Actually, a lot of this hardware looks really nice. This might have been recently gone through.
That looks like a new wheel cylinder.
Yeah, it does. It's just rusty and dusty.
It is a new wheel cylinder. The rubber caps are still on it.
Oh!
Put that back together, call that done.
Yeah. We'll just pretend we did a lot of work in here.
Yeah, there you go, folks. That's how you do wheel cylinders. If you're worried about them, you can pop these back and take a look and make sure there's no corrosion and white crap falling out. That one's nice and clean. Someone's very recently been through these rear brakes.
Get some of the dirt out of here. Check the start wheel, I guess.
Yep. Good call. Adjuster cable's not broke.
Nope, adjuster cable's still there. It's probably thinking about it, but it's not broken yet. Well, put that back together and move straight to lines, I guess.
I suppose. And just like that, we've moved straight to lines.
Lines are less than straight, but we are doing them.
Holy shit, you've been busy.
I have.
Where the hell have I been?
You were in the office after that last clip, and then I just kind of went ham.
Yeah, Angus has had our assortment of brake tools, and we've got some new bendy bastards that we've found that we like, and a nice flare tool and stuff. I'll link it all down in the description. It's all available on Amazon, as well as some good old bulk brake line. I think that was a 50-foot roll.
It used to be a 50, but this is the roll we used on the ramp truck.
We decided that was, what, a 23-foot piece of brake line?
Yeah, the truck was long. We didn't bother to put any unions in it.
But yeah, I'm going to put some links down in the description. They're Amazon affiliate links. They don't cost you guys anything, but we get a little kickback, a very small kickback to the channel. So if you want to check that stuff out there, it would be much appreciated. Angus is going to finish this up, I guess. He's already got, what, the rears are all done?
Yep, hopefully those axle lines hold. They looked pretty good.
Yeah, they look good enough back there.
Everything else did not look very good.
So yeah, we're going to finish that, and then I suppose drop this down, bleed the brakes, and move on to a thermostat.
That's pretty much, yeah.
That and make it run better. Clean it.
Which is going to be... How do we do that?
I don't know. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And to add to all this, that motor that's in Topeka, the whole point of fixing this truck, trying to drive down there, there's a guy that's going to come by it this weekend if we don't beat him there.
So we'll beat him there?
Hopefully. It's Monday. Wednesday, the Canadians get here again, and they're going to be putting an engine in that Newport that Angus and I worked on a while ago, and then buying that from us and taking it on a power tour. We have Tuesday, exclusively Tuesday, tomorrow, to go pick that motor up. And then to make things worse, we leave for power tour Saturday, and none of our cars are ready.
My Lincoln's in a million pieces.
The 98 still has no AC and has a few other things like a fuel tank leak and stuff that needs fixed, so we have some definite work to do. Which, by the way, if you guys are going to be near any of the cities that Power Tour is coming to, look up the route. Otherwise, I'll just put it on screen right here with the dates. If you guys are going to be near any of those cities, we will be there with the 98 and the Lincoln, hopefully. Come say hi. Come check out the show. It's a really fun show, and if you're on Power Tour, we'll be right alongside you guys, cruising down the road in big mid-70s four-door luxury cars with Hawaiian shirts, air conditioning, the whole works.
It's going to be sick.
It's going to be awesome. Actually, I need to add one important thing here. A lot of people come to Power Tour and look for us in the venue and whatnot. We don't like going in the venue. We like to hang out in the parking lots, in the back, with the regular people. That's where you will find the Junkyard Digs crew. So specifically, if you're there this year, look for my Oldsmobile 98, the red one. Angus's 71 Lincoln, the white one that was on the channel. The Newport that was on the channel, like I mentioned, the Canadians. And for the middle 3 days, Tom's 72 Catalina, the bright red with the black roof, will also be there. All parked together, hard to miss. It'll look like a ship harbor. That's where we're going to be. Also, I will not have any merch or anything with me. We're just going to have a good time. No cameras, no merch, just dudes being dudes in land yachts with white walls. Okay, let's get this truck going. All right, lines are done. How'd the bleeding go?
It went pretty good. We got confused a couple times. We had weird flow issues, but we just had to open every bleeder like a lot.
Yeah, sometimes they get a little rust in them, and at a half turn they won't do anything, but 3/4 or full, then they'll finally flow. Once again, that's what happened here today. We eventually got the rears to flow just fine by opening them more, and send our fender lizard down. Brake pedal stops, a couple inches in. We got ourselves good brakes. Hell yeah! Do our brake lights work? No, which is weird, because they were earlier. Give that turn signal stock a wiggle real quick. Well, there's the right one now. Wiggle them more. It's like choose it. Oh, left, right. Now just left, now right, now left, now both. Now there. Never move again. You have both.
So that's gonna be fine, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Okay, brakes are done. What's next?
Maybe shocks.
Yeah, what do you think?
Just a feeling. Plus, we already did the rears.
Fair. We do have the fronts, so yeah, I'd say we throw those on quick and finish all our underside stuff. And then we can start dealing with, you know...
the stuff that matters.
Yeah, like the thermostat that still doesn't exist. I'll get to that.
This is the 90s trucks I remember.
Yep. A nightmare to work on.
A nightmare to work on. Half of it's metric. I'm upset the whole time.
And rusty as hell. Oh, that don't move at all. Huh. Oh.
It's spinning the insert.
It's the bushing. Shit. You know what? We never checked. Maybe the shock still is. Maybe it's just fine.
Well, it's too late for that because I already broke the stud off, and also it's not fine.
All right, let's see what we can do here. Remember, kids, everything's a hammer if you swing it hard enough.
Everything's a hammer if you didn't buy it.
All right, shocks are done, which means we're done underneath the truck. We've checked our wheel bearing grease as well. It actually looks fantastic. It's time now to move to the engine bay. We're going to start with the hard one. That guy right there. As you can see, we've got a couple broken studs. It looks like this one up here, they broke off, drilled the center, and then tried to weld onto it. Those are little nubs of welding slag. That one's just drilled a half mile off. Like you can see here, the original chamfer, and they just started way up here. I have some options. I'm going to start with just trying to get that back bolt hole recentered. I don't know if I can just move that all back to where it's supposed to be. It's basically here, and it needs to be here. If I can somehow fix that slowly and surely, I could drill that all the way through if I needed to and put a stud in it and RTV it in place and it wouldn't leak. So we'll see. All right, it's been a minute. I seemingly have gotten things to work out well with the drill bit. I don't know. We've got the taps out now, trying my best. Unfortunately, our hole is like 1/4 steel and 3/4 aluminum, so they're not playing well. But I'm gonna just keep trying, and we're gonna see what the hell happens. We can always just whip out the TIG welder, right?
Yeah, you're really good at TIG welding cast aluminum.
Oh boy. I don't know if my hole has a little bit of a turn in it or what, but I got like 7 threads to go well. If I could do a bunch more. It's still going. Easy does it.
You sound so confident.
Yeah. I can't tell if it's making new threads or just ripping out the old ones. Something you can do if you got a hole like this where it's not perfectly straight. Let's put a piece of all thread in there as a stud. And then right at the mating surface, bend it the direction it's supposed to go. These threads will never move again. They don't care. They have the bolts straight. And these threads coming through the water pump housing or thermostat housing or whatever it may be don't know that the other ones are bent. So you just hammer that thing in, bend it the direction it's supposed to be, call it good. Are we going to have to do that today? I don't think so. I think I've got this pretty straight. We're probably going to have to change the exact hole location on our thermostat housing, but if I can get this to take, we should be good.
While Kevin's up there working on the thermostat housing bolt nightmare, I'm back here doing hypercritical work, like installing new tailgate straps. Yes. How's it going up there?
It's going. Okay, I've got about 10 threads in there. That seems to be good because I can't get it any better. Time now for this guy. Now there's a trick to this. Wyatt taught me this once. I've used it for getting exhaust head bolts out and it works really well. Step 1, weld a washer to what remains of the stud. And then, step 2, take a nut and weld right in the center and weld that nut to the washer. That washer helps you avoid welding to whatever the head or block or whatever it is you're working on, and is just one more thermal barrier there that helps this heat sink get down the thread of the bolts and other sciencey terms that work really well. I don't know. It'd do good. Okay? It'd do good. Watch now as I weld my finger to the truck. Alright, there's step 1. Now step 2. The nut. It gives us way more surface to weld onto. Now we fill that up. Believe it or not, that puts a little heat into the stud. Hard to imagine, I know. Oh look, our check engine light's on.
Yeah, what does that warning light mean?
I don't think it's important. And the washer, not hot. Like, it's not red, which kind of makes me wonder if I got enough weld onto it. It might just pop right off. We'll find out in a minute after we let it cool. Ready?
Ready.
It doesn't feel like it's going. I think she twisted off. Yep. Well, I got their shitty welding bullcrap out of the way now. Yeah, we didn't weld to the washer. That may have been an aluminum washer. I think it was. That might make a difference, huh? The point of the washer is for the stud to weld to it all the way around, and then the nut again to weld to the washer. So instead of everything twisted on this little center point like this one did, you got this whole surface out here all the way around grabbing the edge. It should, in theory, be a lot stronger, but if you use an aluminum washer, no. Alright, attempt 2. Use a steel washer this time. Worked way better. I was able to actually weld the washer on and have it turn red on its own. But alas, still no. We did something different this time, though. Check this out. The weld's held up, but it's ripping the end of the bolt off each time as someone drilled this damn thing. So there's like just nothing to weld to. We're flush now, which you can go past flush with the washer method. You weld up to the washer. It works pretty well. One more go. Alright, a bigger bolt this time. Yep. Oh. Well, that sucks. Once again, we've pulled off even more of the bolt. Because it's drilled, there's just nothing left. They might have drilled this one straighter, though, if you look at it. Now I do have, finally, a clean drill entrance hole, so I got their damn weld off of it. Alright, well, I guess we drilled that out. Surely we can successfully drill 2 crooked holes, right?
Oh, we can drill 2 crooked holes. Now, can we tap 2 crooked holes?
Well, that was a nightmare. Remember that thing I was saying about using all thread and bending it like a stud? Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do that with this guy. However, I was able to get this bolt to go all the way through as a blind hole, as you can see. So that one I trust entirely. I might try to do that on the other one. I don't know. Maybe we'll just try it first, and then, you know, when it blows up halfway to Topeka,
then we'll drill it all over.
yeah, drill it out on the side of the interstate. We'll get a feel for it, see how it likes it or doesn't. Okay, as you can see, the stud's not far off center, but I could still tap them over just a little bit. But that thing is nice and solid in there. It's not going anywhere, and that's the one I was questioning, which means this one going to be more than enough. Got everything cleaned up. Let's get that all threaded in there, cut it off to length, and throw some nuts on it, and call that thermostat fixed. That right there's the reason the truck got sold. I'm pretty sure someone ran into that and gave up on it, so we've saved this whole thing as far as I'm concerned.
Do it again, I wasn't looking.
Hell no. Okay, there is stud number 2. As you can see, not at all straight, way off to the right, but that's okay. Since it's a stud, we can just pound that where we want. And now we have 2 perfectly straight studs on which I can easily slip the thermostat housing. First fit. I might have spoke a little too soon. I might have a little more adjusting to do. But yeah, those are absolutely in there fantastically, nice and straight. Time to get ourselves a gasket all RTV'd up, thermostat in place, and button this all up here. Then it's time for the belt, which is going to be a whole nother adventure. So, the F-150s, Mustangs, 302s, 351s, you can get real funky with belt routing on these things to delete various items. For instance, if you want to delete the smog pump, you do that. And I believe, from the research I've done, you use this belt. This belt being the KO60966.
That sounds like a made-up number.
Yeah, probably. Now, when I first got this truck, I tried this before, and it didn't go well. I couldn't get it on. So
That's exciting.
yeah, we'll deal with that here in a minute, I'm sure. With two people in the proper tools, hopefully that's going to turn out different. Let's see what we can do. Ready, begin. Alright, we've been fighting this for a couple minutes, and much like before, just cannot get this belt to go on. Oh, now I got it all goofed up, too. Good. Good. You'd hate to be inconsistent. I kind of wonder if this fits on a 302, but a 351, because if it's taller deck height, it needs a slightly longer belt. We get like, what, an inch longer belt, maybe?
Yeah, and that would probably even be too much.
Alright, back to the forums. See what they know. Alright, we've been running around and around with this problem for a little bit now. I have looked at the forums a ton. People are all over the damn board. No one seems to agree with what size they need. Seems like every truck's different. One of the videos I was watching, it seems like this guy got it on just fine with a belt that's shorter than what we're using. And it looks to me as if his AC pump is a good bit different than ours for some reason. And I think we have a much bigger pulley because of that. For whatever reason, nothing fits in our application that fits on these guys. We have a 97 and a 16th inch belt, and they're all running 96s. And if we do that routing that we showed on camera earlier, it's like an inch too short yet. And nobody mentioned using a 98 inch belt or anything around that. So basically we're keeping our factory belt routing, except for we're going over the tensioner and right down to the crank. And we're just nixing all of that. We don't know what size belt we need yet, but we have a knife and a tape measure. So rest in peace, this belt. This will be the new measuring belt.
You sure? We can still use it.
I think it's a little late for that. Okay, put a mark there. Okay, let's measure that. Okay, now we get the tape measure. See if you can rip start that motor.
Oh, well, I certainly can't.
That's incredible.
This is a lot of grip. Did I tie a knot? What happened? Looks like it wants specifically a 95-inch belt.
Okay, I did see that number thrown around a few times. Alright, looks like we can get a 95 and a 16th. I'm afraid that's maybe a touch long, because we can't obviously apply a bunch of tension by hand.
Right.
Let's go to O'Reilly's and see what they have. Maybe they have something right at 95 or below. I think we would want to be a touch short of our measurement to allow the belt to stretch and not slip on the crank.
Yeah.
Our tensioner's not doing a ton in this setup, so... Oh, we also have to get an idler. Okay, be right back. Alright, we're back. We've gone to the store, and we found a belt we believe will work. A 94 7/8. We wanted to go just under our 95-inch measurement. I'm just going to throw on the proper idler. Exhibit A. Incorrect, correct. That'd be for the bottom of the belt, the rib side. This isn't. Get the wiggly worm in place.
What'd you just call me? Okay. Alright. No panic.
It all comes down to this.
All comes down to this. No pressure, everybody. But it better work. Come on.
You can do it.
Come on! Now! Yes, 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 yes. Ta-da! Snaps.
What is going on over there? Why is the idler, look bent? How come I can see two parts of the belt at once? You don't think someone damaged our idler trying to do this, do you?
There's a non-zero chance that idler
Oh no.
has a bad bearing.
I think it's just bent a little. You know what? We'll just fire it up and see if it flies off right away.
Yeah.
There's a pretty good chance of that. Oh god, what in the hell? Alright, you turn the key, I'll stand off to the side.
Okay.
Alright, fire it up. Oh.
Aww.
We went to O'Reilly's and we didn't buy a new starter solenoid. Alright, ready?
Right.
We got a problem. It tried jumping off already to the inside.
Whoa. Well,
Yeah. Alright, let's dig around because there's something going on here that we've missed or is damaged or maybe this whole bracket's unbolted. I just don't know. Angus is removing our old idler. Thankfully we had a spare engine, spare 351 chilling in the shed that I picked up once upon a time for future projects, and it has a different idler on it that is not bent. As you can see, this is just a bolt with a huge shoulder, and then that bolt goes into all the accessory blocks back there, and I think someone bent this bolt by torquing on that way too hard trying to put the belt on. Yeah, that's not what that's supposed to look like. That's bent for sure. Cool. Alright, let's slap that on and finish this whole belt debacle. Ooh. That actually fits much better. Alright, there we go. We have ourselves a belt. I'll go turn the key. You see if it flies off?
I think you mean I'll turn the key with the pry bar over here.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Ready?
Yep. Got more drag on it now. It's being relearned. Oh, look! A belt! Oh, God! Watch it! Break the foot! Hell yeah, dog. We got ourselves a belt. Alright, let's get some coolant in this thing and then start figuring out all the other problems. One I'm noticing right away, there's no power steering. Because there's no power steering fluid. Oh.
Who took all the goo?
Surely that doesn't mean there's a giant leak somewhere we haven't found yet. We're never going to make it to Topeka to buy this motor. Alright, coolant's going in. We threw some power steering fluid in. It seems to be holding it for now. Definitely doesn't make a ton of noise.
Yeah, it's full. It's not using it, but it's full. It just sits there and screams.
It had power steering. Well, shit. What the hell's that coming out of? Damn it, this damn thing. Ah!
Ran when parked.
Alright, seemingly crisis averted. Our hose was a little loose and I got a little more tension out of our bolts and it seems to be sealing up and holding coolant just fine. It's all the way up to here now, which is well above that. And it seemed like the leak has resolved itself. So, cool. Let's fire this thing up and see why the hell it doesn't run very well. See what we can figure out. Alright, here we go. Let it smooth out. Smooth out. Still a pretty good mess. Not that one. Might be that one. I think it's that one. That's so hard to say. That's a really good one. Seemingly good one. That one's really good. That might be the most important one of the bunch. Seems like this guy. I don't know, hard to say. We've got pretty much one plug wire that makes no change. None of them really seem to make a change.
I know what's wrong with the injector. It's full of ants.
Probably. I don't know what to do. We're gonna think about it, and then we'll be back. Alright, a little science. I pulled the spark plug out. It was pretty black and greasy, but not too bad. Cleaned it up. We've got spark through it. We tested our wire, so we know it's not an ignition issue. It's, as we have suspected, fuel. So, probably that injector. If we really wanted to, we could maybe change that injector.
That's if we really wanted to.
Yes,
and I
exactly.
don't really want to myself.
I'm right there with you. So let's put this back in.
Okay.
And just hope that all clears up. Alright, going back together here. Oh, I forgot we gotta do the alternator test. Oh, whatever. We'll get to that. Air cleaner. What are the odds there's a mouse nest under it? Really good.
Really, really good.
Really good. Okay, well, let's get that cleaned out. Good thing we checked. Okay, there we go. New starter solenoid is in place, and I'm now able to remove the rest of this smog pump BS. Get this out of our way, get some room in here. Should have done that first, honestly. It would have been a lot easier to work over here. There we go. Look at that. We have so much room for activities. Woohoo! Okay, one final test. Alternator and new relay. That's not what you want to see. Do something. can't catch a break with this thing. We could probably still do a test drive as it is, right? Yeah. Let's throw some wheels on it and at least go for a test drive first. Yeah. You know, I don't think we even mentioned on camera the fact that in the background yesterday, Angus hung tires on the fronts.
Sure
These are off of what, your Lincoln?
Yep.
They sound really lightweight.
They feel that way too.
Yeah, I can see that.
How many stars do you see? I see a lot.
All right, we are far from done, but I think it's time we take this thing for a spin around the block to essentially make our list of things to do most likely longer. Ooh, add clean interior and steering wheel cover. Hog-ass cam. Welcome aboard. Our power steering's not as loud as it was when we first filled it.
It's healing.
Yeah. Oh, electric mirrors. Holy hell, they work. It's hard to tell because everything's shaking so much because it runs so bad, but at least the mirrors work, if nothing else. And the radio. And the check engine light. That's good. Oh, listen to Tranquility Fountain. I hear water in the dash. It's probably just bubbles in the cooling system, right?
Surely.
Yeah. Surely there's no way we blow 2 heater cores in a month. The transmission seems to work though.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
Yeah, actually.
Granted, I'm comparing that to the engine, which is not.
Well, under throttle, it's cleaning up. Let's stand on a little bit, see what this thing will do.
Oh, it kind of does move.
That actually ran really good. So the idle sucks, but under throttle, and again, we still have no alternator, so we might have some goofy voltages in our computers and stuff, but damn, that battery.
That's a good battery.
That thing's been cranking on this from the start, and we've never once charged it.
No, it's been unstoppable.
But we need to write on the top of that one, the battery.
The battery.
The battery. She drives pretty nice. The steering's not super loose. Hey, did we ever cut that muffler off?
No.
So that's what's dragging?
Probably.
Okay. I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It'll fall off eventually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Let's take this thing out to the highway and get her up to highway speeds. I think we got enough battery left in it. Alright, on to the highway. Let's bring this up to speed. Okay. Alright. Overdrive. And unlike the last one of these we worked on, it's holding it. And it did it perfectly. It's actually got some nuts.
Yeah, it do be going.
Under throttle, it ran really good. So it's just an idle issue, like something's goofy, big vacuum leak we haven't found. I don't know, there's options. You know, 10 minutes ago, I was like, I don't think there's any way in hell we're gonna make it to Topeka in this truck. We're gonna have to cancel this trip or find an alternate ending or something, but...
The power steering pump wants you to know that it doesn't want to go.
But, I think this might do it. Under throttle, it runs actually really good. And it does 55. Pretty fun. Wait, hang on. The cruise works.
No. No way.
And the horn.
What a nice truck.
Check engine lights off.
It's cured.
It's cured. Tell you what, let's run this back to the shop, hook the smoke machine to it, put a new alternator on it, maybe see if we get the wipers to work, clean out the interior, and then reassess, see if we're good to hit the road.
I think that's a great idea.
I think so too. See you there.
Alternator time.
Oh, that looked like it was really easy.
It was once I got all the bolts loose, and they were not loose. He sounds perfect. This sounds better than what we're going to get.
Yep. With that out of the way, let's move on to our next step. Figuring out where all the holes are. Okay, keep your eyes peeled. Any minute now there's going to be a giant vacuum leak we haven't found. Any second. Throttle shafts? Yeah, those always leak. EGR? Yeah, that always leaks. We got a ton coming from, looks like the bottom of the throttle body. Is that also the shaft seals down there? That EGR is toast.
EGR is having a time.
What the heck's leaking down here? Oh,
It's coming from lower.
these are There's a leak. Oh, there's a broken hose right there. That one will make a difference. Looks like we got a big one on what I assume is the bottom of the throttle shaft, but I don't know. That's a pretty good leak right there. By the way, these are on Amazon. Not a very expensive tool. Very useful. You can use these for radiators to find leaks, stuff like this, exhaust systems, everything. I'll put a link to this in the description. Once again, go check it out. Holy hell, that's a lot of vacuum leaks. All right, let's dig around and see if we can fix all these. You know what? I just remembered something. We can read codes with this. In fact, someone gave me this once. It's an old code reader. It appears to be working. The code Bible has said that 111 actually means pass and that everything has worked, which makes sense since, you know, we just took the alternator out, and in doing so we unplugged the battery and cleared out the codes. Huh. So, yeah. God, I wonder if they have new throttle bodies. Wonder if that's worth it. Probably definitely not. Seeing that an EGR's, you know, a casual $100. Oof. Support Junkyard Digs. Check out our merch, junkyarddigs.com.
Yes, please.
Alright. You know what? This thing runs good enough under throttle and seems to drive well enough that I think it's worthy of a couple parts. So we decided to pull the trigger and get ourselves a new EGR valve. I'm working on getting the old one off right now. And in a similar manner, Angus is underneath right now. Yes, hi, that's Angus.
Hi, I'm Angus.
And he is removing our O2 sensor. We're going to throw a new one of those in there as well. And hopefully between being able to slightly lessen the vacuum leaks up here
And accurately read
the
O2s down here.
we should maybe come out with a decent idle. I don't know, but we'll find out. Well, that's original, so
There's a chance that one might be ready to go.
yeah, you never know. 100,000 miles. These last like what? A quarter million, 3 million.
It's not been my experience, but okay.
All right, get that leaky bastard out of there. Hopefully that's enough to make a difference here. Now, you might be wondering why I'm not deleting that. EGR is actually not a terrible thing. It inserts inert gas into the cylinders while cruising. It basically eats up volume and makes the engine displacement smaller without costing more fuel or leaning out or changing the mixture, because the inert gas, burnt fuel, doesn't have the oxygen in it. It doesn't change your AFRs at all. Helps a lot with economy. And in this case, if you take them off these, they start to ping really bad because they're still depending on this being present. So we're going to need a new one on there, get that all working the way it should, fix the vacuum leak, hopefully that helps. Meanwhile, Angus is doing other exhaust gas modifications.
Yes. Our tailpipe, which is not connected to anything anymore, is touching the ground, and we're going to make it not that way. Whoa.
Classic Midwest truck exhaust. Busted out 3 foot up. Perfect. Be gone, you hunk of junk. While we're in the mood of pulling parts, Angus is pulling our multi-switch off. Got a new one of those on the way. Yeah, I think it's junk, huh? While he's doing that, I've moved on to getting our wiper motor off. And then I think that's about the last piece that we have to uninstall from the truck. We gotta switch all the ratchets around and start reinstalling new parts and get one step closer to hitting the road. Haha! At long last, our parts have arrived. Angus is underneath slapping our new O2 sensor in.
Here he is. He's much better. I have to believe. All right, in you go, little buddy. Good luck.
Alright, let's get some stuff bolted onto this, see if it finally runs good. There we go. Got a new EGR, got ourselves a brand new alternator, got a new O2 sensor, have a new wiper motor, and a new multi-function switch, aka turn signal lever. So, with all that being bolted on, good to go, let's throw some juice back at this thing and see if any of it works. Contact. Still stumbling. It needs a minute to learn. I'm gonna say that's running better. It's still pretty choppy. It's an improvement. It's idled down a lot. How's our alternator? That ain't good. Not better. Alright, well, it wasn't the alternator, I'll tell you that. Oh boy. it's time to start poking their wiring harnesses.
Yep.
Woo! Okay. So the motor runs better, I'd say.
It runs different.
It runs different. Anyway, I went poking around over here and I happened to find a wire that had been chewed off by mice, and it just happens to be one that runs into the alternator over by the field wire. So, whoa, what do you know? I bet you now the alternator works. Give her a go.
It'd be cool if it ran better too, but no.
Oh yeah, I can hear it works. It's speaking. That's probably good. 14.18 volts. Beautiful. Alright, I think it's time for another test drive. Let's do it. One more time, onward to O'Reilly's. We really need to get a steering wheel cover as well.
Yeah, it's very sticky.
Yeah, for 100,000 miles, this interior is really worn out on that side. Look at this, though.
We're making our way downtown.
She's driving good. Always should have got gas.
We can still get gas.
Yeah, let's go get gas.
What the hell is that belt noise?
Oh, God, I hate this grill. Now you're all quiet, huh? What is that?
It's the belt switching off the idler.
Really? Oh, my God. What the hell is going on there?
I've got a theory. That bearing might be bad.
It's not lined up. Look at it, it's like a half inch too far out.
Yes, it is.
We had it all the way tight, right?
Pretty sure. Maybe worth a check.
Woohoo, 2 tanks. So fun to fill. Honestly, we never did really appreciate the fact how ridiculous it was that both tanks worked and the fuel selector valve works properly.
Let's just take a moment.
So far.
Moving on.
Yep, okay. Let's go get some parts. Alright, here we are. The open road. Wow, what was that? We hit a bump and the truck just said left. It yearns for the ditches. Anyway, yeah, here we are, open road. Doing 55 just fine. Just got a little stumble right in the cruising spot where it's like on the light end of cruise, it's a little lean and misfires once in a while. But we did put some fuel injector cleaner in it as well as fresh gas. So I don't know, maybe that will get better. Probably not. One can only hope and dream at this point.
Yeah. Pay for effort on our part,
Yeah,
though.
you know
So,
what?
like,
Yeah, hell yeah.
we're the best at fuel injection. The only way to deal with it, parts cannon. Fire!
You know what I thought of today when I was rolling around on the floor, working on tearing off those damn step side bump stuff, saying, this is a terrible idea, what are we doing?
That it's a terrible idea and we don't know what we're doing?
No, we had a much better truck we could have done this to the whole time.
Which one?
The inline 6 overdrive.
Oh.
The one we traded the last one of these for.
Oh, yeah.
We could have dropped the 302 in that, like, been there and back by now.
And it would have been so much better.
So much better. Next time.
Next time.
All right, onward to O'Reilly's. Last round of parts. Well, it's not much of a test drive, but we've made it. You know the old adage. At this point, we've definitely done 10 miles. And if you can do 10 miles,
You can do 100.
amen. Okay. Let's go get, what did we have to buy? A coolant temp sensor,
Yes.
mirror glue. There were a couple other important things, but I don't seem to remember them now.
No, we haven't so far today, and apparently they're not that important.
I guess not. I'll leave the keys in case someone steals it. Onward! You know, this thing's been staring me down for months. The one suspiciously dark injector cleaner. I think we should get it. Maybe it's got all the goods.
We got the goods.
Got the goods?
Got the stuff and things.
One of those we need immediately.
The watermelon, of course.
Yes, of course.
All right, install.
Yep.
Bam, done.
Done. I like it. Looks a lot better. Do we have the foot for this?
Oh gosh, yes we do.
Yes, we do.
Wow, there's a lot of glue on this.
It's like someone's done it before. That's probably fine. Well, once we get that up, we can hang our new watermelon air fresheners.
I want to eat
Woohoo.
them now.
No, you have to wait till we get home.
Come on,
No.
just one?
No. Man, cool thing about 90s Fords, once you're done with your normal amount of steering wheel, there's a whole second steering wheel underneath. You just gotta peel away.
It's molting like a crab.
Like a caterpillar. It's gonna turn into a beautiful butterfly.
Caterpillars don't shed their skin, I don't think. I think they create a cocoon.
That could be. This is not the science channel, this is the car channel. Okay. let's get back to the shop. And I don't know, I'm exhausted. Deal with this in the morning.
Yeah, you are exhausted. We should deal with this in the morning.
Yeah, of course I am. I have to deal with you. You're exhausting.
That's what you say.
Yes, he's right.
This thing is running really not that well.
It idles so bad. Hey, you know what we always say. If it'll make it to the Culver's drive-thru, it'll drive 1,000 miles.
Thank you for choosing Culver's. What can we make scratch free?
Hi, can I get a, thank you very much.
Anything else we can get for you?
That'll do. Have a good one. Well, there you have it, folks. She'll drive to the Culver's. Yeah, shut up. Damn Dodge.
Not even a diesel this
He's
time.
burning the candlewick at both ends. He's gonna blow up at the end of the block. His dash is gonna fall apart. Anyway, yeah, we made it to the Culver's drive-thru. And you know what we always say? If it'll make it to the Culver's drive-thru,
It'll make it 1,000 miles?
it'll make it 1,000 miles. I bet we've said that 1,000 times. This thing is so rough.
I can't believe you didn't get me any ice cream.
You should have asked. All right, we're gonna go back to the shop, let this cool off, and then tomorrow morning we'll put a new coolant sensor in it, and then vacuum out the interior and get the hell out of Dodge because we are running out of time. See you in the morning. And there we go. All right, once again, folks, welcome back. Hello, Angus.
Hello, Angus.
Angus is getting the tools to work on the belt system once again.
Yay.
I am installing our new coolant temp sensor. Angus has hung the adhesive of the mirror foot back on. And hopefully now this thing will idle properly. What we're thinking here is that our old sensor went open loop and probably told the truck that it was -40 and threw a bunch of fuel at it. I don't know. So parts cannon, see what happens. Oh, our belt fell off again.
Oh, that little rapscallion.
Yeah. So what's been happening is every time I fire this up, the belt flips off, and it's done it again, as you can see. So we've purchased a new tensioner, hoping that somehow it's different, and somehow it fixes that problem we don't know why we have.
We are desperately shooting in the dark.
Actually, you know what? It looks like it sits in there a little further, maybe.
I'm willing to agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll find out, that's for sure. All right, let's throw a belt on and see what happens. All right, Mr. Goose. Let's see if this thing idles and if the belt flies off. This is it. The last piece from the parts cannon. The belt immediately fell off. Like, instantaneously fell off.
That's not good.
What the hell is going on? What? This is pretty much identical to the factory routing.
Yeah, there's literally one pulley out of play, but the rest of it's exactly the same.
Why is
But it's the wrap around the tensioner, maybe? Maybe it doesn't like that quarter of contact.
Or that long straight that it has to do?
For sale, $20.
Yeah.
Come get it. Won't idle, belt won't stay on. We'll go through the Culver's drive-through though.
I think we just figured something out, maybe.
Yes.
We have a theory. So, with the way we have this pulley system set up right now, we have this long straight right here that would have used to run to the air pump and had a grooved pulley that would have guided it up to, we would have had this, that would have held that belt within this tolerance and guided it up to this guy. Right now we're running this long straight with no guide all the way to the alternator, and on the way there it's hitting that tensioner. Now the crankshaft is turning clockwise, which means all this belt over here, where all these loads are, this is all pulling the belt backwards. It doesn't want to turn, it's being forced against it. So this belt's getting stretched over here. It's tighter on this side because that's where all the load is. However, on this side, since it's just after the crank, it's going to be stretching this belt and then relaxing this side because somewhere has to give.
You ever pushed a rope uphill?
Yep.
What a terrible punishment.
What? So I think what's happening is we're trying to push a rope uphill, and that lack of tension on that side, that squish in the belt as it, gains length everywhere else, somewhere else has to give, is causing that belt to bunch up and flip off the idler.
There's a good example in the combine video. There might be a couple clips there where you see chains being pulled one way, and then on the slack side they're just going. That would be a really good example of that, but that's the principle of pulleys. So we're thinking, since it's so far apart between two guided pulleys and there's an unguided pulley between them, that's the one that it keeps falling off of, we think that's what's causing it.
That's what's going on. So our solution, hopefully, we're going to change this we're going to go straight to the alternator first. This is not actually drawn to scale, this is in further. But we're going to go straight from the crank to the alternator, and then back down around the tensioner, and then up to the AC.
Yes.
Which is what those drawings online all showed. And the one guy in the forum said he did this.
That one guy? Wrong.
We're luckier than us somehow.
Yeah, apparently.
So yeah, we're going to try to run it just like that from the crank all the way up to the alternator, and then down around the tensioner and not use that top idler, which is what everybody said they were doing.
So now we just have to find out that belt length.
Science has happened.
Science has happened.
We went to O'Reilly's and did some digging around and found a belt size that does fit. Now the thing is, we grabbed the short one and the long one. It's a good thing we grabbed the short one. There's not a lot in the mid 97s. So we grabbed a 97 and 5/8, which is a touch longer than our old one. It was 97 and a 16th, so it would be 9/16 longer was all. Even though we measured an inch and a 16th longer. I tried to fit that on there, and it went on by hand. So arguably, probably
Too loose.
a touch loose,
But
as you may notice, for the first time. Tensioner jump, top tension. And now with this belt mounting, tensioner is finally working properly for the belt to fall off. As I mentioned, it's a little loose. For now, it doesn't seem to be falling off. So, this will be that AC pump style, so a little bit shorter than a 97 and 5/8. Also, still doesn't idle great. Well, actually, it's a little better. We once again made it a little better. It's still taking deer sweet time to rev down, but that's kind of a fuel injection thing. So yeah, there's that. The truck that runs ever so slightly better once again, still not great. And a belt that fits ever so slightly better, still not great. This is the last thing I can think of to do on this truck, and it's to hang some stickers on this. They're going to ensure that it is immortal and will make it wherever we want to go. I can't think of better ones than this right here, because this is literally this truck. I don't know if it's fixed, but at this point it's very different. Hundreds of dollars different. So much different that I'd say it classifies as certified different. There we go. If you guys want to check these out for yourselves, head to junkyarddigs.com. We've got some new stickers out. Go check them out. What time is it? It is noon on Wednesday. We're hoping to be back from Topeka by the end of Tuesday. We leave for Power Tour Saturday. It's in 3 days, and I haven't even started on the 98.
my Lincoln's still on jack stands.
Oh God, we still have to swap an engine in the Newport for the Canadians. I'm gonna make the call. We're not going to Topeka. Not this week. We are out of time. We still need to go to Topeka. I did end up buying that motor. The guy took a down payment on it, so we have till June 22nd to make it all the way to Topeka in a truck and pick up an engine, which means after Power Tour, we're gonna be back, not with this, but with a different truck, and we're gonna try it again, so keep an eye out for that. Topeka or bust, damn it. So yeah, no road trip this time, but we do have ourselves a 93 F-150 that's out of the woods and running driving once again. I think we should go for another drive and answer the age-old question.
Will it do a burnout?
I don't know, let's find out. It might not drive to Topeka, but it'll do some donuts. Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Well, I think that answers that.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Oh, she'll do burnouts. She'll do good burnouts. Takes a bit to get those tires slimy. Those old original BFGs apparently a little more grip than I had anticipated. But, yeah, she'll smoke them. The old 351 Windsor's still got it where it counts. Up top. Nothing down low, but it's all up top.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I think that justifies spending a little more money on this. And recommend, carb swapping it.
Yeah, I mean, what are we into the fuel injection? Only a few $100.
Yes, multiple hundreds of dollars.
It's probably near $1,000. That's nothing.
But the good news is we can take all that back off and use it next time we try to make fuel injection run, and it doesn't, and then we end up just putting a carburetor on it on the next 90s Ford. Well, with that, I suppose we have a lot of work to do getting ready for Power Tour.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yep, and we're going to go get straight into that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I don't think this is the last we're going to see of the old 93 Ford. I think, like I just said, that proves that this thing can rip. And I would love to see how many more horsepower we can coax out of it by just getting rid of the fuel injection, changing our ignition if we're able to. Not sure about what to do with that transmission.
Yeah.
It needs a pip sensor. It needs a... There's no cam or crank sensor of this. It's all in the distributor on these. So, I don't know. We'll find out next time. Best way to support the channel is to check out the merch, junkyarddigs.com. You can get your I Heart drum brakes, your classic Junkyard Digs shirt. I don't know if it's fixed or it's different, your stickers, your hats, your koozies, the whole 9 yards. We'll see you guys right here in 2 weeks for another episode of Junkyard Digs, where we probably once again try to drive to Topeka in a different V8 powered Ford. Peace. More! She's got some nuts.
Yeah, she scoots.
She's got some nuts. So, carb swap?
Carb swap.
Carb swap.